5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Have you been to California? Seen the sight?
Hi, I'm Grace with California Travel Videos. Thanks for being here. And we're going to take just about 60 seconds to invite all of you to send us an email at michael@californiatravelvideo.com or michael@ctvfun.com. Send us your address and we would love to send you a sticker. If you'd like to send us one, we can exchange address information as well. We have got some stickers started here. I'm going to be putting them on a board, and we are excited to share with you some of our featured channels. So, with no further ado, introducing your host, Michael, and tonight's special guest.
Wish to do is travel through
This world with you. Hi, I'm Michael, and
I'm not Michael.
I thought you're not Grace? Wow, what happened here?
I couldn't handle that role.
Hey, honey. Anyway, this is Kevin. Grace is off in the green room, and we have some other special guests that you know is coming up, and we'll introduce them in a little bit. But first of all, this is my co-host, Kevin, with the Nomoc Experience,
How you doing,
which
everybody?
means no more
Organized
chaos. Tell us about what's going on with you today, Kevin.
What's going on with me today is I couldn't pick a better spot to be with two good friends of mine. We've had some awesome conversations over the last 24, 48 hours, and I've been here before, and we've had awesome conversations. This time it was wine-induced yesterday instead of scotch-induced. And conversations and conversations obviously go better off wine than they do scotch. But yeah, it's just been a wonderful day. I got a van build out coming through. I did a live stream this morning. That was a very learning process live stream. For all of you guys here that were part of that live stream, you know what that's about. And maybe we'll go into that later. I'm not the one driving this wheel today. It's Mike. But what I got going on today is life couldn't be better. I'm hanging out with some really good people. I've got 3 dogs to play with, 2 of my own. And I'm just glad to be here with you, man.
Oh, they aren't my dogs. Oh shoot.
Crap.
I mean, you know, I'm feeding them. Yes, that's exactly right. So anyway, we're having a good time. It's so wonderful when you have the RV community and just the travel community. And even those of you who don't do either of those and you just like to be part of our community, we thank you for being here today. And let's take a look at some of them. I'll do 3 of them and then you'll do 3 of them. So we've got Waterboy, first one in the house. Thank you for being here. And Happy Water Girl. Huh, do you think they're related? I think so.
They are married.
Good to have the couple, yes. And so after that, I see some Sharon. I think that's one of your tribe, isn't it?
Sharon Lewis. Yeah, very, very awesome person.
Okay. Sharon, good to have you here. Thanks for being. I appreciate that. And Van Life Voyages. Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you always. So I hope you're doing well today. Van City Adventures up there in Canuck country. So
hey,
good to have you there, Daryl. Live streeting you today. And Lillian, another one of your buds.
Lillian Tittle, very, very awesome.
And who else you got after that?
Oh, we got Tracy Arnold, Tammy Cox, Ruth James, Carla R, Kimberly, California Travel Videos, which is sitting right next to me.
That's right.
And Shebna, Carla R. We got Kimberly. You keep scrolling.
Great, as it said. It just keeps going on and on.
Brooke Burks is in the house.
Fiora Brooks, yes.
Dan and Ron Chapman. These are all names that I'm very familiar with.
Well,
Angie
so good to have you bring your tribe up over here.
Yeah.
A lot of great people. And so what happened on your live stream today, which was kind of good? Maybe we'll have to do some of these I have where we can have people dial in. But tell us about what you had happen today.
Yeah, we made an addition to the channel today where I kind of borrowed off Ray from Van Life Rocks. And if you guys don't know him, very awesome dude outside the camera, but even better when he's talking to the community. He had an idea the other day where he was bringing up some of his moderators that have YouTube channels or that don't, and bringing them up for 60 seconds to have a one-on-one with them. And I kind of borrowed from that a little bit. I don't want to take Ray's full idea. I don't have the permission to do that, but I decided to get in, since I have Discord now, and we have 100 people in Discord in over a week. Just already 100 people.
Wow.
So I decided to bring them into me doing a one-on-one with them for however many minutes they wanted to be. They could make a comment or they could ask a question or anything. So yeah, I brought them in, and I had probably half a dozen, maybe 8 conversations with some subscribers on YouTube. So they were actually being a part of the stream more than, a binary text.
Yeah. So he does 2 live streams a week. One of them is across the pond. You know, the big pond, like over there in, is it the whole United Kingdom?
Not this pond?
No. Oh, it could be. Even a little further. So anyway, you have that, and then you
Yeah.
have another one on. Is it Tuesdays?
Tuesday.
Tuesdays, yeah.
The
And
Words Are Hard podcast.
even the words are hard. Isn't that true for us? Amen, brother.
Yeah, very much so.
So yeah, we're having a great time to have you all here. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, but yeah, so it's nice to be in the sandwich position. And so we've got Gina, and she does definitely rock. And so Van Life with Gina is coming up next. And so Captain Jack, I want to say Sparrow, but Scrapper was up before us. So back in the saddle in the middle again is where we're at. And so Grace is in the green room, and we're getting ready to have our special guest for today. So, first of all, these people, they just fit in so naturally with what the whole community is about. They have grown their channel really, really fast. And you're like, wait for us. But they went from 1,000 to 2,000 in about a blink of the eye. And we'll talk about some of their stats and what makes them successful. But, some of us, we get 50 to 100 viewers on one of those. Some get, many hundreds, some get the thousands. And it's kind of really interesting how some grow organically, some, do it with the community. But we'll want to talk to them about, what makes them special, because they're getting 500 to 700, sometimes 1,000 views in the first week or so. And that is phenomenal. Now, they don't do as many lives, but they've got this thing that we're doing, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain here. But yeah, they do some green screen
Holy
stuff.
cow.
Did you see how I did? I can just take nature and rip it away. And so they do.
What kind of sorcery do you have going
I
on
know.
here?
Shh, don't tell anybody about that. You've seen it here first. But yeah, we'll talk about some of what makes them special. But, they like to travel too. Now, Kevin, you were a traveler, I do believe. So how many miles do you think you've put on your rigs between early part of the year and now? How many miles do you think?
So we'll go from January 1st?
Okay, January 1st. Why not?
32,000 miles.
That's like almost a set of tires there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's a couple gallons of fuel.
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
I have gone from the East Coast to the West Coast this year 3 times. One to see mom, one to travel out here. We also had to go up and down north and south, from Ohio to Florida, from North Dakota down to Texas, and I've been to Boise and back to Ohio. It's been a trek, and I did all the 101 all the way up from basically San Diego
all
to
the way on up, all the way up to Washington.
yeah,
right?
all the way up to Washington.
Sam.
Yeah.
So and now I guess it's time to go ahead and have our dear friends coming on. This is going to be a real special group. So you probably know of them: Living Life Hitched Up and TJ and Red. Are you ready to come in? Hey, there they are.
All right.
Howdy.
Here.
Can you hear us
Hi,
okay?
Michael. Yes, we can. Hi,
Perfect.
Mike.
Yep.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Hi.
So,
In the
I
background.
guess, exactly. Grace is there. You've seen a little bit of her. She's stepped off for now, and she's doing the moderating. I don't know if Grace has some other mods, but to our mods, I thank you very much for all that you're doing, and we'll kind of check in with you from time to time. Diane from Phoenix. I wonder if that's her last name. Box Band D. Hey there. How are you doing, D? Good to
Always
have
good
you
to see
today. I hope you're keeping cool today. I don't know if you got the Illuminex yet, but it's on its way. The check's in the mail, as we like to say. But I want you to be a cool kitty. And I think she's looking to go into a little higher altitudes, maybe not as far as Flagstaff, but, we have spent some time down in Quartzsite, and Grace and I love Lake Havasu. But, in the summertime, not quite as much. But let's go to TJ and Red, who they've had quite a few videos lately coming from the great state of Florida. But, when you've got a rig like they do, you kind of want to get off and people that are like-minded. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your life, where you've come from, and where you're at now.
Well, right now we are in Ohio, in Sugar Creek, Ohio, because we're at the New Camp has it's called U Camp Rally. So all the New Camp products, the tab campers, tags, and all that stuff are here. It starts Monday, but we came in a little early because, it's never too early to go camping. So we jumped out and just waiting for the place to fill up now.
Awesome. Well, that's it. I'm sorry, what was that?
There's a lot of people here already, considering that it's not really starting until Monday.
Even though you've got a couple days, and I was hoping that also we could have some of your cohorts in crime, I guess. No, but Mandy Lee, I don't know if you know her, but we met her a couple years ago down in Quartzsite, and does a great job with photography. And some of the things we actually picked up from her, I think the business cards, I think we saw where she got those. We liked that. And we are not quite where we're going to the bottom of Grand Canyon, which is where she has just come from. But her and her beau, Kindred, I guess are heading that way. And they would have loved to have been on here today, but they said, yes, 750 miles of traveling today. So how many miles have you been doing a day to get here?
We actually, this wasn't too bad. We left Jersey yesterday. We spent the night in Cabela's parking lot, and then finished in today. So
it was 300 miles today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice, the 330 rule, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. We've been trying to follow that a little bit better. We also instituted a no driving in the dark and a no driving in the rain. We broke 2 of those yesterday, but it happens.
Rules are made to be broken, right?
Yes. Apparently the weatherman didn't get the rule about not letting it rain while we drive. So I'm not really sure whose fault, but yeah, we had to push through a little bit,
I'll take the blame.
A little bit easier.
Kevin, he's a bad influence. Now, Kevin, how many hours do you put on a day?
Driving?
Yeah, I mean,
well, it all depends.
500 is not a problem for you, I don't think, most of the time.
Yeah, I went from Virginia Beach to California in 3.5 days.
Wow. Coast to coast, 3.5 days. Man.
I did that twice this year.
Tell us about the caffeine you had.
It was basically
here we go.
No caffeine needed.
This is patent pending.
Now, I'm not sponsored by Bang, but I would like to talk a little bit about this product. This is what we call the Pear Guava Purple from Bang. I recommend that you guys drink these only if they pay you. So Bang, if you want to pay me, please shoot me an email and I'll drink some more of these on.
And I'm having, my name being Michael or Mike, I'm drinking some of the hard lemonade right now. And Kevin, because he was in LE, law enforcement, is that, no open container in his vehicles, but instead he goes with the drug of choice, caffeine.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So we have some kindredness there. I'm LE as well.
Oh yeah. In
I
fact,
can tell.
Weren't you in the military? Weren't you in the U.S. Marines? Now,
yes,
where do you think Kevin was in? What part of the military do you think he was in?
I'm going to say it's very possible that he was in the Marines, but I'm going to go Navy.
Close enough.
Very
You're
close.
very close between the two of them.
Yeah.
It is right in between.
The Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So actually, really cool.
borders.
I right now in my bag inside, I have a challenge coin from a good channel supporter friend of ours. He is the E9 in the storekeeper E9. Yeah. He came to we were
Master
Sergeant Major
Chief,
or something. What do you call
I
it?
think it's a Master Chief.
Master Chief in the Navy. I mean,
yeah.
Marines.
So he is the ranking guy in that MOS.
Yeah.
And, big friend, channel support of ours. He came up. We were in Virginia. Came over. He lives there and got to hang out with him. Super cool dude.
He has a tab 400
tab
as well.
400, and we're
is that right? He has a tab also.
Yeah. So he has any issues or anything comes up, we exchange numbers. He shoots me a text, and
that is so cool.
Him and his wife are the nicest people ever. So really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know how I can tell he is? He's in former law enforcement.
No.
I have not seen him cross his arms. And we've been on. We've been talking on the screen here for now half an hour. Yeah. And he has never done this.
Never crossed his arms.
And the haircut gives it away too, as well.
Well, I suppose. but look, he's got that smile, that radiance there, and look at Grace. Well, see, Grace comes from. She has a part, not a big part of the blood in her, where she was. Shall we say, with the Native American Indians, and so they're allowed to cross their arms. I mean, that's a stereotype, of course, but yeah, for sure. But so anyway, you're up there. Well, first off, let's talk a little bit about how you got into RVing. I mean, was it before you were hitched up? I mean, that you each had some backgrounds in it, or you just kind of jumped in it together?
Well, what we did share was we both had dreamt of I want to rent an RV and travel across the country. We're both avid travelers. And so we both had that, from years going back. And I was a prior tent camper.
Tried to convert to a tent camper.
No more.
Yeah,
no
so
more
it worked really well. Yeah, it worked well until we were in Boyd in Key West. And it was I think it was 4,000 degrees out. Not really sure. Maybe
and it was February.
In February. And, sleeping on the ground and all that nonsense. And
noisy neighbors.
It was out of control.
Never again. And that was right before COVID. So that was February of last 2020. Yeah. So we had already been kind of eyeing up campers, especially him.
Yeah.
He was
consumed a bazillion hours of YouTube on, reviews and watches and, all how they're built and every possible thing I could think of.
He did
Can I
his
say one
homework.
thing about tent camping?
Yeah, go ahead.
Real men get into their house one leg at a time.
Oh, okay. One leg at a time.
Yeah.
I think I get that. Yeah.
I hear
But
you.
yeah, certainly in the military, you had knew how to do bivouacs and the like. So,
Yeah.
so you're kind of like you do like to do some boondocking, though, don't you? You don't have to be where you have the hookups all the time. You're kind of a hybrid couple, aren't you?
Right. Yeah. Well, we bought the boondock version of our camper specifically to have that, pre-set solar and all that, 12-volt fridge and all the good stuff.
Mhm.
So we can kind of just, if we have it, we use it. If we don't, no biggie. Worst case scenario, the unit's small enough that we can run it with the Honda EU 2200 generator. Runs everything for, obviously, we can't run the Aldi heat and the air conditioner at the same time, but other than that,
But it's got the better part of what, 2,000 watts or something like that? 1,500 watts? Or, something around there. Mhm.
Yeah, so we generally have no issues. We've only used it a couple times because for the most part, we're good either way. Whether if it's, if we were in Lake Havasu in summer, we'd need the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I have good friends that live out there, so I totally understand that.
Mhm.
But other than that, open the windows, and
let some
let the
fresh
breeze
air in.
go. It's okay.
But it seems like you've been kind of doing like what we did when we were on the East Coast is either, if you can't be by the mountains, to stay near the ocean. So is that kind of what your strategy has been when you're out and about?
I love the beach.
Yeah.
You get the water, and I am happy, regardless of whether, obviously beach is at the top end of my preference, but a lake, a river, I'm happy.
Yeah. That's why, our rig is called Toes in the Sand,
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. Get it as close to the water without getting it wet will work. But yeah, we first year of RVing extensively, we figured, all right, let's go to places that we kind of know. We know the roads, we know the areas. I hadn't towed anything, since military days, and a little landscape and stuff after that. So we figured, let's just kind of stay with what we kind of know for that first experience. And it never really stinks having to go to Florida and go to the beach. So we weren't.
The prices are right. You've talked about I think one of your I don't know what you call them, the questionnaires where you get in, where people ask questions, you respond to the answers. I think it was some of our dear friends, Dean and Shailene, and so one of them I think you talked about that you like the state campgrounds. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
hands down. Yeah, we found that the state campgrounds just a little bit nicer, a little more wooded sometimes.
Mhm.
A little
A little more space. lots
Good
of nature.
amenities. Do
Yeah.
most of them have electricity, or some of them without?
No, we were actually up in the very first. We actually last weekend we did. There's a group called Tear Jerkers. It's like a group for teardrop campers. They got all their stuff. So there's a brand new New Jersey chapter. So we joined them up in Schwartzwood State Park in North Jersey, the first state park in New Jersey last week, and there was no hookups. So boondock for the weekend, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Great
it was
wooded sites. Just cranked open the windows and
right by the lake.
right by the lake. A little bit up
Awesome.
there, but it was nice and peaceful. The roads were a little narrow getting in and out, but the tab's pretty small, so not an issue. But yeah, hands down, I would say state parks.
Mhm.
And if we can get electric, great. But if not, no big deal.
Yeah, you besides your generator, you do have some solar, don't you? As I recall.
Yeah. So 190 watts from the factory, 1200 watt sine wave.
Pure sine.
Inverter.
Yep, those are the words I'm looking for. Yeah, and so that pretty much runs. Actually, the worst thing on that for us is my electric teapot. That thing, it cranks that sucker.
He has to have.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. I don't know. I didn't hear you talk about it, Red, but I know TJ is that you have your morning spot of tea. Where did you get that? Because I used to drink like so much coffee in my 20s. And finally I said, I can't drink 10 cups. This is ridiculous. So I went to tea and I was doing the same thing. And now I've drink hot water, but we won't go into me. But I'm kind of curious, how did you get into the tea drinking?
I absolutely do not like even the smell of coffee in the least. So I don't know. I just, as a kid, always drank tea. And then, first night out of out of the academy, it was midnights. So the guys are like, "Oh, you'll be drinking coffee by the end of your second week of midnights." And 32 years later, still working.
That's still your thing. So it works, doesn't it? And
yeah.
You have what do you have a spot of in the morning normally?
A bang.
A bang normally.
Yeah.
It's the bang.
Yeah. Very rarely I'll have coffee, but if I do drink coffee, it's going to be something cold out of a can.
Yeah. So Kev is getting ready to get his rig ready to go on the road. So he's had another van before, and he's decked that out really beautifully and gifted it to a friend. What a nice guy that is. And so now he's got another one that he's starting to build out. And so how far along would you say you are? About a third to half of the way? I mean, you never finished, of course.
Well, that's the thing about van life is you never really finish building it out. But I went from just having a bed that I built, a floating bed, to hold the mattress and storage underneath it, which is in totes. I went from that. I knew that as soon as I got that built, I got to get in the road and I got to go see things. So I went all the way up to 101 and I went and saw things, went and saw Mom for Mother's Day and this and that. And then I knew the winter time is coming up. So it's time to get insulation in there and finish out some walls and make a bigger area for storage. So right now, all I have is the Reflectix on the walls. And then I spray painted on, before I put the Reflectix, Rhino liner. So there's no condensation.
What a smart idea.
Yeah.
In fact, on your last one, you had the bed, or I should say the wood frame underneath it, you had some portholes that were about 2 or 3 inches, and you had about 30 of those so that you wouldn't have any of what you guys were afraid of. You had with your flooring, you thought, uh-oh, is that the black mold? And I guess it wasn't. It was just a glue defect. But is that kind of have you got that resolved, or is that still an open issue?
No, so we it was something with the glue, so it would leach up through from the floor is a composite underneath. It's that Asdale composite, and something with the glue, whatever the issue was, it leached up, and it looked very much like mold. But New Camp had issues with it before, and they were up on top of it right away. We had the floor initially replaced at our dealership, and everything looked fine in the beginning, and then we started noticing some changes in the flooring again pretty quickly. So contacted New Camp, the factory, and they picked the camper up from the dealer, brought it out to the factory, and redid the whole floor over. Ended up being something to do with the freshwater tank separating at the connections, I guess, to the plumbing, and it was spritzing water in, so the composite floor and the linoleum was getting wet in between, so it wouldn't stay together.
Oh, in between the laminates, sort of, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so they took all that out again and put it.
It looks beautiful now. Feels great.
Yeah,
so.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, it shows that the company, they do really provide good service. In fact, I think when I was going to look at that before coming to the live stream, is that they make a lot more than just tabs, don't they? There's a pretty big family of products they make.
Yeah, they have 2 different versions of truck campers, the 820 and the 620. The 620 is new. So they do, and the 620 actually will fit in a standard, like a 150 bed, which is, not that many options out there. So that's pretty cool for folks who don't want to have a gigantic pickup truck. And then they run the
Avia, which is like a luxury,
slide
beautiful.
free. That some folks call it the Airstream killer, because it's that
I love it.
And without any of the added mechanicals of the, adding slides and all that stuff. And then all the way down to the little, crawl-ins, with the little clamshell kitchens in the exterior.
It's a very hot line. I know that you guys have done a lot with your channel, and it also helps that when you have something that's a popular unit, because people want to learn more, if they're kind of on the fence to buying, or, you've done a lot of great videos that we'll talk about that in terms of like DIY or things, the top 5, this or that. And so you've been a tremendous benefit to the community. And I'm sure with your back there, you're probably going to learn some new things, aren't you?
Oh, we hope so. always got to keep the brain going,
Yeah.
More about, and because listen, there's every walk of life in the RV community. You have guys that retired that, astrophysicists and, all the way down. And these guys, know things that I would never even imagine. And some folks come up with some really super cool modifications. that, change the whole way things go. So always got to keep the eyes open and the mind open, because you never know when you're going to learn something.
And follow the smart money, which you guys have a lot of the smart money. We love some of the videos you put out. We'll talk about those in a minute, but let me just go to one of our dear buddies, Kenneth Oakes. Hey, Kenny Ford, man, you are a great guy. And he's a wonderful moderator. Thank you, Kenny. And I think we've got a lot.
We're in the show.
Hi, it looks like
Hi,
we're having some technical problems. Hello, everybody. I will try to overlap as I can. After my last comment was coffee before noon and wine thereafter.
That's right. Well, he would always say, he's Irish. You drink tea until it's time to drink beer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something
and
like
there
that.
you are. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so some of the other people that we've got here, Rob and Jan, good to have you here. And Lillian, you've been here for a while. And Diana, I see you here. And I think I saw some others that slipped in here. I just want to be sure if I know Grace is going to do a good job. I get so busy with the conversations here is that I'll leave it up to our good people to go ahead and do all the shout outs for all of you. Thanks for being here. And I get going back to our discussion as you are now in with how many people do you think are going to be showing up for I think it's called U Camp. Is that what it's called?
Yes. I want to say several hundred.
Wonderful.
Units. Yeah, several hundred units. And then, I would say on the average, it's kind of a mix of singles and doubles, depending, and then there's two separate sites. We're over at Winklepeck or however you say it.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's
it's just
another.
fun to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's another boondocking section over at Timbercrest. So there's actually two campgrounds that
okay.
quite a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be pretty
What's your
exciting.
weather like out that way?
Hot. It's
Oh,
very
it is hot now. Okay. Kevin, what do you
Yeah.
remember where you were at? Was it kind of warm this time of year?
What part?
We're in Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Sugar Creek. Is that central, southern? Do you know what part of Ohio that is?
Yeah, it's Ohio. No, somewhere in the
Southern.
middle.
It's Ohio, in the
South
middle.
Dakota.
So-
Yeah.
So
Not-
yeah, around. It's funny that in
About an
Ohio.
hour from Cleveland.
Oh,
now
okay.
we're-
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at then. It's funny about Ohio. The last, I would say, 5 years, usually August is the hottest part of the month, and it's usually in the 90s, high humidity, even sometimes into the hundreds, and not any colder in the evening. But the last 5 years, it's been June. It's like June is August, and all the other months seem like May that are in the summertime. So I know June lately in Ohio has been the most miserable weather-wise when it comes to heat and humidity.
Yeah, but it's it was sunny today, so
Yeah.
we'll take it.
Yeah. Any day that you can be out in the sun, camping, traveling, seeing stuff,
It's all good.
beats being at work.
I think sitting in somebody's driveway trying to build a van out is the most fun I've ever had.
There you go.
It's all good.
That
So
is-
you got any more toys you're going to look to get on this trip? I mean, I assume that there's some kind of plenary sessions or whatever you call them, where you have some things that are educational basis. There are people from factories that go there, or is it just mostly community, or what do you hope to get over the next week?
They do have a kind of a mix of a social mix, and then they also do tech tours. So they do have folks from the factory, and we're actually going to take a tour of the factory, so get to go see how it's all built from the inside.
They have people doing work on trailers right here at their spot.
Yeah, so you can sign up and they'll actually
yeah.
come to your spot and do some repairs or upgrades
Yeah.
or mods for you.
And a lot of fun
Sweet.
activities. They really planned this well. They have like an Amish wedding dinner one night, wine and cheese.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
really?
Yeah.
An Irish wedding dinner. That
And
is so
apparently-
cool.
I know, I can't wait for that. That
They have
sounds really neat.
these big giant Ohio donuts that
Oh, yeah.
I've seen pictures from like 2 years ago. Last year there was no
No, you can't.
U camp because whole COVID thing, and the year before was a big rainy mess mud camp. So, but all the pictures had the people had these giant donut pictures, and normally we eat low carb, but
Yeah, we eat keto friendly, but
yeah,
I
but
don't know.
I'm-
This
Oh,
week,
yeah.
I'm eating the donuts. So
Yeah, there's a time, and Grace is that way. The first 6 months, she was like 100% keto. I don't know if you have the application. It's like, okay, this is like how many carbs I've got today. And some things are right negative, aren't they? When you eat some things, it actually takes away from it. So,
oh yeah.
yeah, but after you get to where, you're an alumni, I think you can go ahead and say, okay, now I know when I deserve a special treat. kind of like
yeah.
we do. Now you talked about singles and some doubles. This guy has got a threesome. I mean, with him. Tell us about your threesome.
My dogs?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's just me and 2 dogs. That's how I like to say it. I got a full bred German Shepherd named Barrett, and he is obviously the male dog. And then I have a rescue female she's all white, and her name's Bella. She is part Timberwolf and German Shepherd.
Wow.
Beautiful dogs, both of them. And they get along so well with my Siberian Husky, Kaliki. The 3 of them are like 3 peas in the pod.
Nice.
But, you know, it's interesting. He did a photo the other day, and Bella is like, it's like Kaliki. In the Arctic, you would not see them like a polar bear. You know, they're so white, which is kind of probably why they're designed that way. Whereas Barrett is kind of like your typical police dog. I don't know if you ever worked with any police dogs, but a lot of them are, whether Malinois or they're normally kind of dark colored. Is that kind of generally what you've seen when you were in law enforcement?
Well, actually, while I was in the military, got chased by 2 police dogs after a big bar fight, but thankfully I wasn't any of the ones that got bit. But,
and that's how he got in the academy.
And that was his qualification, right? He knew how to. You're a good street fighter, right?
Yes. So, where I work now, I retired. Technically, I retired from law enforcement, and then New Jersey instituted what they call a Class 3 special, which is a former officer within a certain time frame come back out of retirement to work specifically in schools. So now I work in a grammar school in the town, a different agency than I worked my whole career. And we have 3. We have a Malinois. We have a full black German Shepherd. The thing is huge and absolutely beautiful, but the thing is a monster. And then a the traditional brown, brown and tan, German Shepherd. But all 3 different, 2 of them are bomb trained, and the other one is drug and apprehension trained. I mean, they all cross over back and forth what they're capable of, but the 2 specifically are for, bomb sweeping and all that kind of fun stuff.
Wonderful. So I guess were most of your assignments stateside, or did you get a chance to go overseas?
No, every Marine every 4 years has to spend 1 year overseas. Well, that was prior to Afghanistan and all that fun stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So he's pretty much all black.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Very nice.
Sweet.
So you did get a chance to see some of the other countries.
I spent a year in Okinawa, Japan. I was in explosives. That was my gig in the military, EOD. So I spent a year in Japan, California for a while, Alabama, a couple, and then I ended up in East Coast at headquarters of Marine Corps, right by Arlington Cemetery. So I finished off from there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your service, and Kevin, thank you for your service.
You're welcome, sir.
Also there. Good to have fellow troops that can remember the good old days, and we are now in greener pastures, I think. And I see Northwoods is here. I don't know if you are. Were you talking about maybe going up towards Michigan? Did I hear you say that you're going to go to other states, or where are you headed to next?
Well,
I'm going to turn this section over to the professional.
Oh,
I'm the travel planner.
a wise man. Yeah, here's the deal. I got to say, Grace and I are, we're with you, TJ. Red, I'm sorry, we're not as good at planners. I'm more like Kevin, the rest of you. So we need your leadership. What's the master plan?
Well, because we only have, 2 months to travel and hit everything we want, I spend a lot of time kind of researching and trying to figure out how long it's going to take us and what we really want to see in the area and something that we'll both enjoy. So from here, we are actually going to Indiana. We're going to be at Indiana Dunes State Park. So
is that right? We were at Indiana Dunes, really?
Yeah,
that's an awesome place.
Looks beautiful. Yeah,
you're going to love it.
That's definitely been on the list.
Oh, yeah. If you got good eyes, you can see the Chicago from there.
That's what I've seen. That's what I've heard.
I just bought a what do you call it? A one-eyed binocular monocle.
A monocle, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I just bought that.
When you put your hands there, I thought like it was a golf swing. And I thought, does he hit a ball all the way to Chicago?
Yeah, no.
Not really.
No. I could probably get it in the lake though.
Yeah, that's right. We've got the water boy and water girl. They could help us there. And
there you go.
I don't know if Gina's there, but she would be into Mr. Momoa. Good Jason.
Two-pecker billy goat.
That's right. That's what you would say. Hee-haw. So anyway, so you've got some plans to go elsewhere. Now, how long will you be gone away from home on this trip?
2 months, actually, maybe even a little bit longer.
Oh, another 2-monther.
Figure out the end of August, but we'll be spending pretty much a month in South Dakota. That's the main part of our trip.
Okay.
So we're meandering along the way through Iowa and Illinois.
Well, we got to qualify this. She's a huge baseball fan. So Yankees, of course, that's the way she was raised.
But of course, yes.
Of course. So she's been to every baseball stadium in the United States except 5. And it would be 4, but they had the nerve to rip down San Diego and rebuild it. So now she's got to go back.
I got to go back. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, doggone. You got to go to San Diego. Shoot.
Again, right? So actually,
we're going to Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Field of Dreams.
Iowa.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we will be in South Dakota. We have Custer State Park. We're going to be there for 2 weeks. And then we have other places. And we're Badlands. We're going to be there before that. Then we go through Wyoming a little bit. Just kind of drive through. Not really spending a lot of time there. Colorado for another TAB rally.
Hosted by Mandy Lee.
Yeah. Called TAB.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. How
TAB
cool is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Can I ask you one question, Red?
Yes.
Do I hear a hint of a Colombian accent?
Actually, my parents were Cuban.
Cuban. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So Spanish actually was my first language.
I
Yeah.
did mention that. But yeah, you good call on that there. And he spent some time in Cuba also, believe it or not.
Did you
A lot
really?
of time. Yeah, Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Of course. I've never been to Cuba, but my parents, I'm first generation American.
Okay.
But Spanish was my first language. So that was good. You picked up on that.
So are you a dancer?
Ah, cale chingada.
Muy bueno.
Yes, me encanta bailar.
Yeah.
He's pretty,
I understand way more than I can actually speak, because I got a little confused. I learned to speak pretty decent amount of Japanese in Japan, and then I came back to the United States and didn't go to college, but I went to college for Japanese. So yeah, in the beginning I really struggled with, what's that word in Spanish? And they would want to keep coming up in Japanese in my muddled little brain. And so now I'm much, much better at deciphering.
but he can dance.
Yeah, I can dance.
Don't let him fool you. He can dance.
We
The
actually,
hips don't lie. That's right.
Yeah. So we actually, me in the RV, that huge RV channel.
Right.
So we follow them. We think they're really cool. And actually, our setup that we use so that we can actually do this on the road came through one of their videos, and I watched
Our technology.
their technology aspect of that, which works pretty decent because we're in the middle of a field right now, and this is streaming well. But so they did a thing where for their 100,000th subscriber, whatever it was. So we sent in a little video clip of us dancing because they wanted people celebrating. So they featured a couple seconds of us in their video, which is really cool to, be part of that. So yeah, the dancing came in handy that day.
That day. Yes. Okay. You've been a little humble. You and are very much that way, TJ. I think that's what people feel about. And I think probably, Red, I think you probably appreciate that about him also. Isn't he a real gentleman? Maybe that's why he drinks tea. Maybe that's what happened. Everybody drink tea and you're going to be a real gentleman.
That's right.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I really got lucky when I landed him.
Yeah, you guys are so much in love, and it's so good to see, where it just radiates throughout your channel. It's not like some people, they put something, the icing on the cake, but no, yours is built into the relationship. And it's like, you guys are always so radiant. I think that's what a lot of people are attraced to.
I feel so lonely.
No, but it's not that. You got two dogs, man.
You have 2 dogs. Dogs are unconditional love.
Well,
He's got ladies in every port. Don't listen to this.
What I miss the most about not having a woman in my life is having somebody else's opinion.
Well, listen, I know Grace is biting her lip down there in the green room, but we won't go into that right now. But Donnie, come up if you want to give me a little bit of coaching.
Yeah, tonight before the show, it works out great. Tonight before the show, I said, can you just check with wardrobe and find out what I'm supposed to wear? I'll be in the wrong thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I went to a celebration of life, and I had kind of like a long sleeve blue thing on, and Grace is like, that's not going to cut it. So she's got me and this guy here. And thank you, darling.
I would
Thank
just like
you.
to point out the married couples are all dressed to the T. No dress code required, but you guys still look good. Your hair's all done. You're very primmed and primed. Mike and Grace are both very primmed and primed. The single guy, faded blue shirt and dirty
look
blue
at this.
hat.
He's got the American flag on. Come on, he's cool. He's
Nice.
I'm not even wearing pants right now.
Well, that's a whole nother story, but we won't go there. He said
What
he
makes
likes
you
to
think-
turn the
what
other.
makes you think we are?
Right, that's right. He turns the other cheek once in a while. I always want to get a butt shot from him. I don't know what's
There
up
you
with that. Hey, and Lucky Dog Productions, Sue is here. Another one that we always love to have her, the moderator of moderators. We got some great people here.
Oh,
But, I want to be sure that we've got another 50 minutes left, and I haven't asked you if you have any questions. I think you do. I'll go ahead and keep throwing some softballs. But, if you've got some hard balls, they may take it, or they might say, Michael Nisser or Kevin, you answer it. So if you have any questions, just put a Q before what your question is and let her rip, and we'll give it our best to wing it. Or you can say to tell the truth, right?
Let's be honest here.
Let's be honest for a change. So anyway, I guess is that regarding your channel, first of all, congratulations on your channel. You had in May, if I looked at the numbers, we can talk about them, but I'm not going to get picky. I'm just saying generally congratulations. You had in May, I do believe you had you're getting 100 to 200 in a week. And I was like, it must be a certain video that came out. But I saw some that, were fine. You had some that were blockbusters. We'll talk about those also. But do you have anything that you attribute to your success? My sense is that you've just been kind of running in all cylinders. So you get, 300, 400, 500, 700 views on most all of your videos. What's your key to your success, would you say?
Well, first of all, I think we got really lucky just having a tab, and just New Camp actually did post us on their Facebook page and on their Instagram, and that really helped a lot. And then we had a channel who's got, I think, 140,000 people.
170,000.
170,000.
Oh, what's
name is
170 around friends?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So his name is Patrick from New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. And we just happened to chat one time on Instagram. And he said, if you're ever in Jersey, I'd love to take a tour of your rig. I said, well, it happens we're from Jersey.
Why not?
So we had no idea who he was. We said, let's meet up at this park. And
but yet, we did know who he was, and I could not figure it out for the longest time.
When he met him, he's like,
the second I met him and I heard his voice live, I'm like, dude, that's the guy from Colonial Airstreams. He's one of the, I don't know if he's the owner or part owner or whatever, but I had seen him in a million videos about Airstreams, and I'm like, this guy's voice reminded me of the guy from Something About Raymond. I can't remember that actor's name. I'm horrible with actors' names. But that same
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Ray Romano.
Ray Romano,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, Ray
Big old
Romano.
Ray, man, Ray.
Yeah, that same tone quality, not that heavy of a accent, but the second I'm like, it takes me a minute, but I'm like, the little light comes on, I'm like, I know this guy. I'd watched a million of his videos, and I had watched him on this channel, not even putting two and two together.
Yeah, so he does tours of, interesting, I'm sure he'd love to do a van.
Your van build out. Oh, absolutely.
And right after that, and he said to us, he goes, make sure you go on my video and you answer people who make any comments in the chat and, engage them. And that was unbelievable how we grew from his channel.
Yeah.
How many we got from him.
That
So that's been a big
probably
push.
about 3, 4, maybe 500 viewers.
Wonderful.
From that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
let's they know, like, and trust you, and so one hand washes the other, and congratulations on. I think I didn't know that much about the tabs until Mindy Lee's. I saw hers, and it was so cool in the back of it when she opened it up, and it's like, and she just doesn't kind of do it occasionally. She's like Kevin. I mean, when you live in at 7x24, you really get to know your rig, and what would you say? You're kind of about half time that you spend. You go out for months at a time, but then how much time would you say you spend on a year?
This year we were fortunate enough to be able to go out more than we had expected. Work was a little different this year, obviously. So we did get to spend a little extra time away,
20 something
20 something weeks.
this year.
Yeah.
We were able to be in.
Sweet. Yeah, that feels good. Most of it's been not like the southeast because you've gone north, but how far had you gone to the central part of the states? Oh, Grace has got something. Hold on just a second, Grace. Go ahead and how much time have you been kind of in the central part of the U.S.?
Well,
As far west as Pennsylvania. Well, no, Ohio. I'm sorry, we're here now.
We're
Ohio, with this, yeah. Okay.
mainly
It's funny
just
for me
stayed
to
on
hear
the
that.
coast.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
far west as
As
Ohio.
far west as Ohio. Yeah, that used to be the West
Give us a
there.
few
you know,
weeks.
the
Give us a few
Midwest they used to call it.
Weeks. Yeah.
Grace has got something she wants to come in with. What is it, honey?
Yes, we have a question
I
for
saw that.
TJ and Red. They want to know you have your teardrop tab, and they want to know what you tow it with.
With a 2020 Ford Ranger XLT Super Cab with
Oh, I used to have a
factory tow.
Ford Ranger. They're the best.
Yeah, you see his. I mean, you take a look at the rear view camera system and all add-on for the tire pressure monitor system, all the stuff he's got. It's been decked out, I would say.
Yeah, you're surprising. This is what, and I actually just fixed the issue like a little over a week ago. So we got the factory tow package, which obviously, if you're going to tow, you should, because it gives you the transmission cooler and all those things that you need, and came pre-wired 7-pin and all that, but no factory brake controller option. Like you can get it in the 150, like they didn't do it for the Ranger. So I was using the Kurt Echo Brake Bluetooth kind of deal. So we're having some issues with that. So I went on YouTube like everybody else when you need to answer a question.
What
you
does
Google
Kevin
it.
calls it? The YouTube
Like all
University. right?
University of YouTube.
Yeah,
It's a state
so-
college.
Back in a few.
Yeah, Google it and then YouTube it. And some guy said the wires are all there. Ford actually taped them all off with blue tape. So they're right there under the left side. And I ended up hardwiring in a Takancha brake controller to remedy that, because I didn't want to take any chances towing around the Rockies with,
No, not in the Rockies. Yeah.
yeah, no. So that was the one thing that I wish they would have. I mean, because I would have preferred to just pay Ford to put it in, put it in the dash or whatever. So I'm sure in the next year model they'll probably, correct that. But yeah, so we can't complain. This thing tows really well.
So, and there was another question in the chat.
I
and it
see
was,
that.
What did
Go
I
ahead and
do?
pop it up.
Yeah, what did I do while he was in Japan?
Right.
I was in grammar school. So
Oh, that.
He's doing her
I
homework.
robbed the cradle
I was
too.
Yeah.
maybe high school, right?
High school, maybe. 1987 to 88.
High school.
I was there.
I was in high school.
That's sweet. Hey, we got another Red here, Redheaded Riding Hood. Hey, how are you
That's
doing,
right.
Red? Good to see you. And Kathleen Klein, everybody's friend. Another one of them there is 7x24. You really get to know your partner, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
So I can't remember. It might have been Shailene and Dean, Grassroots Living. I don't know if it was Dean said this, but what do you learn? You learn patience. So, sometimes it's okay to just go out and take a walk and get some fresh air, and you come back and whatever it was that it was like pestering me, I've kind of forgotten about it. When you get older, that's one of the good things, whatever it was.
I can't remember any memory of me having to do that.
Yeah, you haven't remembered, so you're okay.
That's it.
Oh, no, but it's great to get where you get a chance to know what a person wants and when a relationship complements each other. I was going to ask you a question about New Jersey. I being with AT&T and then Lucent Technologies, network systems, or the old Western Electric Company, they are all over New Jersey. And I'm wondering what parts you've been in. I'm wondering if I know some of the cities that you have been at.
Well, we live in Secaucus.
Right
So-
by
Okay.
Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Well, I would go into Newark about once a month and White Plains, Murray Hills, Baskin Ridge, Piscataway, a whole handful of them there that you might think of, but Homedale. I'm sure you know some of those places.
Oh, yeah. There-
Actually,
You know the Lackawanna Diner? Middletown,
Yes.
Lackawanna Diner?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
No soup for you.
What's so funny is that, and I don't know if it's just a New Jersey thing, but I had a feeling like when World War II was imminent, is that they took all the signs down. So if the Germans invaded, they wouldn't know where to, and they never put them back up again. Because I go, on these back roads.
I wasn't alive.
Oh, you weren't alive then. I wasn't alive either, but that's another story. But I mean, when I go back, in the 2000s, is that there's not always signs. But if they do have a sign, it's always on the other side of the intersection. California, we put the signs before the intersection. Is that? Did you find when you went to Florida, other places, it took some adjustment to getting used to the signage and everything?
Well, the first adjustment, anyone from New Jersey remembers, is once you leave New Jersey, you got to get out of the car and put your own gas in.
Oh, yeah, like Oregon, right.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
We're not allowed to pump gas in New Jersey because apparently, there's like a law in place. I spent most of my high school years working in a gas station, and you'd be amazed people jump out, and you'd be, high school runner, no, you can't do that. And the guy's like, I pump my own gas in New York every day. I can't. I'm like, you can't. It's like,
I tied my own shoes this morning.
But yeah, so. Remembering, and then the last trip we came back, I pull in the gas station and I'm getting ready to jump out and start doing, the guys looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot I'm in Jersey.
We're in Jersey.
We're
back.
Yeah. How does this work again? But yeah, it does. We're, depending on where in Jersey you are, it can be very crowded. But a lot of people don't realize we have a massive amount of farmland in Jersey. So you can get out on some of these roads and, you wouldn't realize even where you were, but, and then you get to other sections of the country. And I have a brother who lives in Virginia. And whenever we go through that Washington, D.C. corridor, I say to him all the time, how do you live here? You can't. And people think Jersey traffic's bad. How do you live here? It's unbearable. And to try to get through those areas with a trailer, even as small as we are, if I can't do it in the middle of the night, break that rule, or super early in the morning on a Sunday, we got to go around because it's, it's just too much. It's too much
brutal.
Yeah. So yeah, they say California traffic's really bad. I don't remember. I haven't lived there since I was a kid.
Yeah, it depends. Certain cities, certain roads are bad.
LA is terrible.
LA can be terrible. I lived there in the early 80s. It was like, if you're on a bus, you just find something to read if you're, on the RTD. But in fact, when I moved back to San Francisco, I was working in San Francisco for a while. And there would be like some people waiting to get on the bus. And then the bus, they were going to Sonoma County where I was going. They're like, no, I'll take the next one. Like, oh, why are we staying? Oh, I want to go on the Friday. If the 4:00 is the party bus, you don't want to get on the 3:40 bus? No, this is go to the 4. I go to the 4:00 bus. You sit in the bus and like all of a sudden plates are coming out. What am I supposed to do? Take one and pass it on. And then the bottle comes around and things. And so, they knew how to party. So then you're not in a hurry to go home at all. It's like, slow down, bus driver. We're having a good time in the back of the bus. So it's funny, just like RVers that have birds of a feather, because I think you find that, in different states and different people that you associate with. And it's one of the joys, I think, is that I don't know if you call misery loves company, but once you get used to whatever it is, it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I might listen to Kevin's live stream, or maybe even some of the people he's associated with. I don't know if they know much about
Adventures with Purpose.
Adventures with Purpose. But tell us a little bit about, or tell them a little bit about how that fits in.
Do you know? Have you ever heard of Adventures with Purpose? I'm looking at you, but you guys are seeing me look somewhere else. Adventures with Purpose is a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel. A friend of mine, Jared, created the channel where he dove into waters with scuba gear to start cleaning up the waters. Old phones, cars, guns, things like that. And he's picked.
Actually, there are 2 guys, and it's now 2 guys,
Sam.
isn't it?
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam is the guy I gave my old van to. A really good close friend of mine. I'll call him a brother for the rest of my life. We're just very kindred spirits. But I do security for them. I will go on the road with them now that they're working a lot of cold cases when it comes to missing people for murders, suicides, missing persons that are unknown. I did reach out to Jared and tell him that there's a lot of things that he's probably got to watch out for. Me being in former law enforcement that you're not seeing. And he's like, well, you're going to be going on the roads. Why don't you just come with us and do security? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. So that's what I do with them when they go out on long trips, 45 days plus days trips. I'll go out there, and I sometimes in some situations I will be open carry, and sometimes I won't even have it on me. and just use other tools like the baton or mace, things like that.
But yeah, great channel. If you ever get a chance, any of you who don't know about it, I'd highly recommend is in addition to the Nomoc Experience, that's Nomoc, and Adventures with Purpose. Yeah, that a couple of great channels, and it's done in a very compassionate way. I mean, they go out to help the families, basically. It's not done, it's not salacious. It's not some of the stuff you see there. These are really genuine people, and Kevin fits right into their brand. So yeah, I think it's interesting to see is that what different people have to offer on their YouTube channels. So, and so going back to your YouTube channel, I guess is that I'm going to bring up a screen here. I'm dangerous with technology. Well, yes, of course. And so I have one here that is, and actually, let's see, I think this will do. I don't want that advertisement there. And we're going to go down. And so, okay, got to go for another screen. I think this button over here, which says the Wacom tablet. And woo, oh, look at, we're little people. We're little leprechauns now. So, okay. And I think if I get my mouse over about this way. Oh, Grace, thank you for that. Okay, she's a step ahead of me. So here's their social blade, what they say about their channel. I guess you can kind of see that. Can you guys see a little bit of it there?
Yes.
Okay. So at any rate, there's their tab, and there's the nice Ford Ranger, and great banner picture that they've got there with their new tab. And looking down at some of their hot videos here, here's one, 5 things to know and love about the Tab 400. And look at that. Woohoo! 11,000 views and 334 comments. Don't you know? Very good job.
Don't you know?
Yeah, really, for sure. And so, best beach days ever in Shell Island, almost 8,000. Their Tab 400 tour, and that was a great one. I love that one. You guys did a wonderful job. Although, but Red, I'm kind of wondering when you get back there now, is that the entertainment center, you say, I'd like to kind of, if it was only moved around the other side, did you bring some tools so you can like say, hey, come on, guys, help me move it around so we can get the entertainment center in the front, right? We're going to have to get around on the bed.
Well, guess what? The 2022 does have it in a different location.
They moved
So
it.
somebody's
that-
been,
The
Wow.
2022, they put it right above the closet door, so you can stand right in front of it and just work the controls.
Well,
Much better
I think
setup.
Red
Yeah.
should get royalties on this, shouldn't she? Some royalties for it?
I agree.
For sure.
So
And
if you look on the screen, you see the ratings where it's 98.6, 98.6, 99.9. I have to apologize. The reason why you guys didn't get hundreds on all of those, I disliked the video because you didn't mention me once. And I'm so hurt by that if I could take that dislike back, I would.
I
But
know,
it's
but
too
you
late.
always hurt the
Well-
ones you love is what happens. It's like,
We did that with a plan, because the first time that we didn't mention you and you didn't respond. So then when you get
That's-
down, so we said,
yes.
we're going to keep doing this
Yeah.
until he finally has the courage to come up and tell us that, so now we're best of friends and we'll fix it.
Yeah. Well, see, now that you really solidify that you're a part of this family and a part of the group, because if I can rasp on you and you come back with rasping on me, now that's somebody I can hang out with for life. So thanks, TJ. I appreciate that.
No worries.
but here's something like this one. Now you get into a little bit of shorts here. If you see where I'm circling, it says, baby horse scratches butts. What's up with that?
we were in Assateague last summer, and that was a great experience because you get the wild horses coming up right through the
Yes.
campgrounds, and I had one right on the beach, and I just happened to go up and catch him. Yeah, he had an itch.
So the
Yeah,
reality,
yeah.
behind that, we actually it ended up being a short because we didn't realize that we should be shooting in landscape.
Well, I think I got so excited that time.
Yeah, that
Because when we started, we really
Oh.
weren't making like a YouTube channel. It was just kind of like, oh, I want to, film this so I can show my kids at school. So after like the second or third video, my brother says, maybe you should hold the camera this way.
that.
I
Huh?
didn't think about that.
It's always
So
a
when I
learning
saw that
process.
horse, I got so excited that I forgot to turn the camera. I was like, oh, look at him. He's so cool. And then it
That's
turned
too
out to
funny.
be a short.
Yeah, we really didn't intend to be a YouTube channel in the beginning. We like I said, work in a school. Red's been a school teacher for
29
29 years. So you know, we're in an inner city school, and the kids were like, "What do you mean you have a bathroom in there? Where are you going to camp?"
Yeah, I was
And
telling the kids what we were gonna do.
so we originally tried to live stream or video, Zoom actually from the beach with the horses to show them, and it was an epic fail because they had no idea how to do all the stuff. So we made a video, and you can't share a video file, with the average person. We're not techno savvy folks. So, one of our friends says, well, just put it on your YouTube. I'm like, I have a YouTube. Do we get issued one? And he's like, no, just make a YouTube channel. I'm like, oh yeah, it sounds pretty easy. And so then boom.
We got tech help from one of our coworkers.
Yeah.
And here we are a year later, because we just celebrated our first year anniversary on YouTube.
Yeah,
is that right? It's only been a year? Wow.
Yeah, the 10th. Yeah.
June
That
10th.
is, man, congratulations. And you've
Thank
got
you.
so much you're teaching us. In fact, some of these videos, if we look at them, is that, well, certainly the tour was very educational. And here's another one, 5 things to change. And you did it in a very respectful way, not like, you're bitching about it or there's some problems with it, but just things that you'd say were some nuances, and you've always got workaround plans. And I love the one you did on security. I mean, you had so many, what would you call it, value bombs that you did on that one. But of these, do you see, like, here's one with 400 storage mods and hacks, 3,200 views. Do you see, is that it's kind of like us, where a little bit of this, a little bit of that? I mean, some of them are more the cinematic experience or what you learn from a location, things that are people oriented, and some of them are more where they're educational based. Or what do you see the focus, I guess, that you might be looking to do?
Well, I guess I tend to focus more on travel. I love to travel, and wherever we go, I kind of feel like I want to share that. And a lot of it goes back to, like I said before, sharing it with my kids who may not have had, experiences like that. So that's what I focus on. But my husband,
obviously the challenge of a YouTube creator is, what are you going to create? And we didn't even have like social media prior to. I stayed away from social media pretty much, because it just doesn't work well with my
with
job.
our careers,
and we had so many
Profession,
rules and all this other nonsense about it. So just for the most part, ignored it. And then, so we kind of jumped into this like with not a lot of background. And, there were things that I wanted to change, or mods that I'd seen other people do or whatever. And I felt like, well, when I watched all those hours and hours of YouTube, I wanted to see how people did things, but I also appreciated the honest response. Like, anyone can come on and say this thing is a piece of junk and blah, 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 whatever. But the point being is, well, however you do, I want to tell people the truth. Or we always agree that if you can't say something good, then maybe say nothing, but tell the truth while you're saying it. So if you think things could be made better, then just say. You're not bashing it or putting it down, but somebody could look at that and say, maybe you have a person who has like a handicap or physical inability. They may not be able to get on the bed to be able to turn like that, to do that. So they'd say, well, maybe I got to find something different, or that will never work for me for this reason or that. They're not free. Right. Nobody gives you one of these things. So you got to pay for them. So I felt like you're going to give that person an honest feedback response. People appreciate that, because I would look for that. And our travel, her dad was a travel agent, as a job. So it's kind of inbred in her in that regard. So when we travel, she's like, great, this is a great place, but what can I do around it? What can I see? What can we do to experience there? So we take the same approach. I just take it the technical end. She takes the travel technical end and tries to give that person a review of the campground, the area around, and what can you do if you choose to come to this place, what are you going to get out of it? That's kind of what we try to do. And it's a hard balance, I think, because some of our, tab stuff do really, really well. Okay. Some of our travel videos don't do as well. Struggle. But then, you have the best beach day, Shell Island is like 8,000 or 9,000 views. And I don't think we did anything different.
That was early on too, before we had much experience. So, it's a learning process.
Yeah, well, it seems like also it's like, you want to do something you like to also. You want to give to the community, but you want it to be a balance and let them know who you are and what your passions are. And you don't want to make them drink through a fire hydrant. And so I'm sorry, all of you out there, when I make my videos like 18 minutes long, I know theirs are like 5 to 7 minutes long, and I'm going to get better. But, so it is a balance, isn't it, between giving them like the full enchilada, the full Monty, if you will, or just basically what they need. Now, Tracy here has got a good, and Tracy is the nicest person out there. Another one that we saw up at Oregon, and she said had problems with trolls on the Discord and things, Reddit and Discord and some of those, a lot of great people. And then yet there are some that, they've got really strong opinions, and they're more than happy to share them with you. So I think it's where, if you feel like the time you put in it when the day is long, because it takes quite a bit of effort. And I think you guys do a great job with your thumbnails, with your titles, with your descriptions. And okay. And thank you. When one finger is pointing to somebody else, 3 more pointing back to you, though. Remember that.
I said that's all him. That's why I'm saying he does a great job with that. I tend to watch the videos and, comments and do that kind of stuff, but it's all him. He does the thumbnails, he does the editing. Yeah, without him, I would not be doing this.
And I'm sure, like the green screen and things like that, you're willing to go ahead and take some of that energy on. But Grace and I, we have a balance where, okay, when it comes to some of the other things, she does have a great artistic side to it, and she actually is good with Photoshop. So it's like, okay, darling, it's like, what's this? The responsibility and authority, right?
You said that once or twice.
I think I've said that once. It's kind of like playing that record again, but no, it's like where you have people, the things that you like to do in your relationships and how you share things. So I think, but like you said, it's good to have some where you give some tips on things that you've been doing. So don't you have one coming up? In fact, is it about Wi-Fi? I think, is it not? Haven't you made a promise you're going to do one on the Wi-Fi?
We haven't filmed that yet.
Yeah.
But it's a promise.
But it's a promise, and seeing how well this is working, we definitely have to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna see. But for me, the issue with that, like, not the issue, but I can show you the parts. I can tell you how to put it all together. But there's the element of the computer aspect where you have to log on, because it gives you the opportunity to prioritize where your data or your access is coming from. So it's like a multi antenna, multiple channels in and out. You can put multiple SIM cards in, and you can set all these different parameters. So I've yet to figure out how I'm going to film those bits and pieces, but yet like take out this is my account number and all that kind of, because, I'm better at hitting things with a hammer than figuring out how to,
that when you're hooking up to your rig. I've seen you use that hammer. Yeah. A number 10 BFH. And don't ask me what the F stands for, but I know.
I will let you know this. The best place for you to travel then is Oregon, because it is legal to discharge your firearm anywhere in Oregon as long as it doesn't hit anybody. And I'm not lying.
Nice.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So we definitely will be coming. That will definitely be coming along. Hopefully very, very soon. And we're still working on a review of the tow vehicle, because we get a lot of questions about the Ford. How does it tow? But what I wanted to do, like East Coast, Florida, it's flat. You know what I'm saying? So we hit a little bit of mountains. So this summer, with going to the Rockies and all that, to me will be the true test. Does the Ford 4-cylinder EcoBoost 300 horsepower, will it pull a camper at 3,850 pounds? So when I do that, when I have that to tell people, I would hate to say to somebody, hey, this thing tows great, but I've taken it over the speed bump in the supermarket. And you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
So if we're going to put it out there, or we're going to say, then I want to make sure that I've run it through the right enough types of paces to say, hey, this is what we did with it. This is where we've been, these type of grades. We got this kind of gas mileage, all that stuff. So if people are throwing money down on something, they're getting, just a regular guy's honest review, even though she's a Ford girl.
I love my Fords.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So tell them I drive a 2003 Ford Escape.
Still. Yes.
What model is it?
Escape.
Ford
Escape. Okay.
Yeah.
An 03. Yep. Still
100
runs
and-
every day.
Yeah, about 170,000 miles, but that's my car. I love my car.
And she won't get rid of it till
I
Hey,
have to.
if it works, don't fix it, right?
Well,
Yes.
since you're a Ford girl, I have to brag about my 2003 Hummer or 2008 Hummer that I had that had 190,000 miles on it, and it still ran over people pretty well.
And just did a thump and kept on going.
a little bump, like the speed bump. You know, it works
Yeah.
right
A
over.
speed bump, exactly.
Ooh, look, a Buick.
There
Hey,
you
a
go.
couple of our other buddies here. Here is Mo
Tim.
Bang for your buck. Tim. Hey, Tim, good to have you. And he's talking about another one of our dear friends.
Tim.
Another Tim. Tim,
Yeah.
time for exploring. I'm glad to see that you're feeling better, Tim. We miss you and had a great time with him also up in Oregon. Well, both Tims. So it's great to meet these people in different cities and get caught up. And how about this? Bree is here with us now, TGIF, and she is another one, a fabulous supporter, and can't wait to see when her community channel gets going. So anybody else has any questions, let us know. We've got another, Grace is always, I say 20 minutes, but it's got less than 19 because we want to be sure that we're up to speed for doing a raid on Gina's channel coming up in a little bit. So if you want to go ahead, one of the mods put the URL for her live stream today, and I'm sure she is going to be doing some serious rocking. And so let's see.
I got a question.
Yes. Okay, please.
See, nobody
questions.
asked me if I have a question.
I'm so
All you
sorry.
care about is the people that
You
are
hurt the ones
in
you
the
love.
chat, but I'm
No.
chatting right next to you.
Wait. Don't.
You know, don't come back. I'll just take over the stream.
Okay. Question. Well, I stirred up the dogs.
Have you guys had a really big argument while you were traveling?
Ooh.
No, actually,
No.
no. Believe it or not, no.
True, honest. No,
Honest.
Yeah, honest.
Honest.
We have
So
not.
you drive, and then she's actually in the trailer when you're driving. Then
Yeah, sometimes we have
Oh,
the
God.
tab for it has just this one small little storage area, but if I push really hard, I can get the
I regretted that question as soon as I asked it.
That sounds like a stowaway. You got a castaway there. Now, you
Yeah.
have actually something that we don't. We sort of have a shower. We do have a shower, but we had
We
all these
used to have
nice
a shower.
shelvings. What's that, honey?
We used to have a shower.
We used to have a shower. It came with a shower. Look at all these nice shelving we can put in there because we, with our e-bikes and stuff, you got the helmets and all that. So, yeah, we kind of lust after your shower. So, but how many gallons of water can you hold? 20 plus gallons, or how much can you get on yours?
fresh water is 22.
22. That's enough then. Can you do like a 4-gallon shower though, Red?
With this hair, it's a little hard sometimes.
Hard, yeah.
You know,
Do you shower with a friend?
it's a little too small.
It
Unfortunately,
is, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Well, you can fold the sink out of the way, give yourself a little bit more room, but yeah,
Right.
two would be a little rough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what is it? The
I'm
PT
learning
shower.
so much today.
You are, and that's why.
I took a 300 million gallon shower last Saturday. So what's this 4-gallon stuff
Yeah,
about?
that's right.
I was in Lake Shaver.
You just go in the water. You know where Lake?
Yeah,
No, you
it's
probably wouldn't
beautiful
know Lake Shaver, but in the Yosemite area, maybe within 100 miles of that, up in the Sierras. Mhm.
Honey, so
Yes.
anyway, you'll notice down at the bottom there is a new banner on the
Oh
on the
yes,
art channel.
let's talk a little bit about that, honey.
Yeah, and I just wanted to spend a minute here to give a shout out to our featured channel tonight, right down here at the ticker. And that's going to be Whoa Nelly RV Adventures. So we are giving a big push. We've got 49 in the house, and ironically, they need 29 subscribers to get to that 1,000. They are
Mhm.
currently traveling through the United States, so I think if you click that subscribe button, that you will really enjoy their channel.
I'm going to subscribe right now.
Yay! So let's see what we can do to get that push going. And with that said, let's go ahead and open the questions to those who are here with us. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put a Q in front of it, and I will get those highlighted, and we will try to make sure that we take care of that and answer those for you.
And I'm going to go to another screen here. Oh, Kevin's got something he wants. So, party boy.
I've been subscribed.
Oh,
Yay!
what a guy. Okay. Let me just for a second take the screen and, I don't want that screen. I want to be into the MSI. Oh, I do have the MSI laptop. And we just need to be down in the corner. And here is the Whoa Nelly Charlie. So this is Lucy and Brian and Luna, their dog, their wonder dog. And so, yeah, a great channel. And I think they are going across the United States now. You said you were going to be going to the South Dakotas. And so, oops, I don't want that one. I want this one here. There we go. So the Dakotas, and I'm going to give you something. It's not a warning. It's not a suggestion. It's just a joke. So when you get to Montana, if you're going to be going through the great state of Montana, there is used to be called Custer's Last Stand, Little Bighorn.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes the stars are in the right position. And so, you know, we've had some, like on our Fantastic Fan or Replace the Microwave Oven that have been really big hits. But then when we got to Little Bighorn, you know, we had a little bit at the front of us going there. And it was kind of funny because I don't know, Red, if you ever do the driving. Do you ever do the driving?
No, not
okay.
really.
Okay, well, Grace seldom drives, and she said, hey, I'll do the cooking. And she even does the cleanup as a result of it, bless her soul. But, you know, anyway, we do this kind of a thing. And so basically is that when we got to do Little Bighorn, there was a tour guide there that was phenomenal. He was, I want to say Crow Indian, was his descendants are. But we videotaped it. He was fine. I wanted to promote him, not for us. And I think we've got about 60 or 70,000 views on that. So you never know. Now you can go ahead. I hope you don't get more views than us. You know, I won't be too butthurt. I won't be too upset. But you know, wherever you can get them. I'm just saying when you go, sometimes you never know where you might get something that people really resonate with. But as we go across the United States, we find that so often Native Americans have gotten more than just the short end of the stick. So we try to tell a real story when we go out there. And I see when you're there, it's a lot of it is on the sites you see. And we love the cinematic also. But once in a while, if it's not, we don't like to get too politically charged on it. But do you, when you go to somewhere like you're going to some of these states, do you try to get a little bit of history, or do you kind of stay away from that more or less?
No, definitely a little history.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. Being a teacher, I guess, you know, one of my things, and sometimes he tells me, he's like, that's too much, you know, you're going to bore people. But I do kind of like, you know, giving a little bit of an education, you know, not too much. We did have a video a while back about Thanksgiving. We were in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And after we watched it, I said, oh my God, if I showed this to my kids, they would fall asleep. This was terrible.
Oh, okay.
We try to shy away a little bit from too much history, but definitely, you know, give a little information.
Yeah. You know, we'll go and we'll soak that stuff up like crazy, no matter where we go. Always try to find something, you know, really cool and historic and all that stuff. But we won't necessarily end up using a lot of that, you know, because it is hard to put all that stuff together sometimes, because I feel like once you start giving a certain amount of information, you're almost like locked into the remainder. Otherwise, it makes little sense. And, you know, if it gets too long or too wordy, you know, it gets hard to edit that part.
Yeah, it is, because, you know, if you want it to be every 5 to 10 seconds at most, you got to have another scene, whatever is that, to have the continuity, it is a bit of a challenge. So I think it kind of boils down to, you know, what is your brand? What is it you try to give to your audience? And you seem like you, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's right. There are some skeeters back there. In fact, Kevin's got a tool. He's got a paddle.
Yeah, I have an electric fly swatter, and it makes them explode.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Minnesota, you know, the land of 10,000 lakes, and each one of them has 10,000 mosquitoes. So you can multiply and you get a big number that are in the state. But, you know, there'd be like bloodsuckers. Now I just peel them out. They don't bother me. Ticks, you know, I can get those before. You can feel them on your hairs. But mosquitoes, it's like, you know, I found is that either stay where there's a fan or some wind blowing, stay where there's, you know. In fact, I think you guys, I recall that you like firewood over propane stove, right?
We do. Red has asthma, so that depending on the conditions, we don't always do the fire, only because if the wind's not the right way, we end up with a breathing issue. So, but prefer that. You know, there's supposed to be a fires here. Nobody has any going just yet, but we're hoping.
Mhm.
You know, maybe Monday, Tuesday night, if it all works
cool.
out. Yeah.
Does it get pretty cool in the evenings where you're at, or does it stay
Is
up in the 50s, or how cold?
Well, right now is
It's
perfect.
perfect. It's
Yeah.
comfortable right
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Wonderful. And Box Fan D is kind of checking out. Great to have you here, Box Fan. I miss you. We're going to look forward to seeing you again. I know she's got something she's planning at Quartzsite, and she says that one of her things is that make sure everybody's healthy, wealthy, and wise, or a couple of three. And that means is like not so much on the potlucks, because sometimes, you know, in fact, we had a little fun in Oregon, because for some reason, somewhere along the line, you have a three position refrigerator, right? You can be either propane 12 volt or 110 volt, right?
No, we're just a two-way, just a 12 volt.
Two-way.
Yeah,
Okay.
two-way almost, yeah.
Yeah, well, for some reason, our two-way, then it didn't flip over. And at the end of the day, we were getting ready for dinner, and it's like, uh-oh, our ice cream is melted. And that's like not a first world problem. This is a third world problem for Grace. So it's like, we had some long faces there, but we, other people chipped in things, and we all stayed healthy enough. But it is kind of fun. So are you going to have any group meals you're going to do together with the boys and girls?
Well, they opted to not do potluck, because of, everybody coming from different places. But so they're sponsoring the dinners here, New Camps. So that's what they're going to do, that Amish dinner.
Okay.
And they're doing a couple of breakfasts as well. So that'll be
Grace
really
says
cool.
there's a question in the house. I'm sorry to interrupt there. Go ahead and finish. I missed that. But Grace popped the question. Oh, here it is. QQQ from Minnesota. Whereabouts? Well, let's see. If you were at Fargo, North Dakota, and you went about 70 miles northeast from there, you would be by Thief River Falls up in the Red River Valley, by Crookston. I was born in Ada, Minnesota. I as a young boy, was in Tinta, Minnesota. And but yeah, the city of Oakley is where my relatives come from. And I don't know if you've been in some of those Midwest cities ever in your life, but kind of like Ohio, you got about every, these flat states, you got about every, I don't know, not section, which is like 600 and some acres, but every couple sections, you've got a road going north and south, and they've got a road going east and west. In between those, there's a little co-op, where the farmers would bring their grain and things. And so there's not only land of 10,000 lakes, there's 10,000 small cities in Minnesota is where I come from. But let's see, in terms of being on your trips, and that would be, I guess, probably in planes, trains, what would be some of the places? Have you gone to Hawaii or anything exotic?
Well, I have been to Hawaii twice, but that was before we got together. And we have talked about in the future spending some time in Hawaii and actually renting some vans or, something different and riding around the different islands. So that's probably when we retire that we would do that. So we have a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, we have like every RV, we have that little map stuck to the side of your RV. You got to fill in all the states. Yes. So our rules to fill in the state has to be a minimum of 2 nights camping and something touristy has to be done.
Okay, we've had 1 night, but 2, I like that even better because you get to know the state more.
So in order to finish out Hawaii, we're going to have to go there and rent an RV of some sort or a van or something like that.
Oh, you're going to do it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legit. So otherwise, you're stuck at 49 and you have to, wake up one day at, 85 years old and say,
we still got that one to go, darling.
Yeah, that's right. It.
How about your bucket list? Is there anything else? Now, I don't know if that was your bucket list item, or they're asking about, Tracy is saying, do you have some bucket list items?
Well, that's one of them. Last year, we were actually supposed to go to Ireland. He's never been to Ireland.
Never been to Ireland.
And we had booked that, and I had planned the whole thing. And of course, then with COVID, we weren't able to go. So actually, that's how we ended up getting a camper, because we knew that we weren't going to be able to go on the cruise that we had planned, and we knew we weren't going to be able to go to Ireland. So we said, well, we're not staying home. Yeah, and that's how we ended up getting the camper. So maybe someday, right?
So 2 things on my bucket list item. I want to fly fish, catch a salmon in a river. And
I've
never been, technically, yes, I've been to Alaska while in the military, but they didn't let us out of the airport. We were like caged animals while we were going to Japan. So that doesn't count for me. So Alaska is a huge bucket list location for me. Absolutely. And I want to like that iconic movie. I don't know who the actor was, standing in some stream in Montana or wherever he was, fly fishing, catching a rainbow trout.
Oh yeah,
A river runs through it.
Mhm.
Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Yes.
River runs through it. Bad Pitt. Thank you. Nice
And
job,
then-
Kevin.
And then the
Nailed
world,
it.
yes. And the world still owes me a Guinness straight from the original, never been in a barrel.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be a good time to go to Ireland right now.
Yeah, I
a
have
little
to
bit
wait.
spicy.
That's okay.
Might have to wait for that
Out.
bear a little later.
That's okay. I'll wait it out.
Grace is asking about the cicadia bugs. Are you hearing them there where you're at, or are they
No,
not where
Nope.
you're at? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
not yet.
It's a little bit too late in the
Oh, the season.
of the spring, and they come back
Okay.
in like August. So
Oh.
all you'll hear is "Ree, ree," and those are cicadas.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. But no, nothing here now.
No.
So those are definitely, I would say, probably for me, top 2 bucket list things I want to do.
Mhm. How about your storage in your RV? And I noticed you have that. It's fairly long, but it's like 9 inches high. And I'm thinking smaller things you could put in. But do you mostly in the rig is where you put things, or where do you consider your best storage places?
Well, the back of the truck has a lot of our stuff.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Our chairs, our
You're
rugs,
so
all that kind of stuff.
lucky.
Yeah.
But he added 2.
I added
container.
diamond plate boxes to the front because the
Oh
Boondock-
yeah.
the platform. I added those on there, and I got them from Amazon. Nothing. And now, of course, now there's a couple of companies, different places that a lot of folks are getting these custom. And this guy from, I want to say he's from Tennessee. He builds them like to the perfect diameter of the whole platform, so you get to use every inch of that. So I wish I would have gotten those, but these worked out pretty well.
That sounds like us RVers, doesn't it? It's like we want every inch, and then somebody will say, "But doesn't that weight more? Get out of here! You're spoiling the party." But yeah, I don't know for those who don't know it, but that the units you have that you've added on for your, I guess, electronics and things for some of it, but it's not only very safe from a security perspective, but I'd swear you could hit it with a tank and it wouldn't hurt it. I mean, it's really solidly constructed, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you can hit it with the back of the car if you jackknife a little bit too much, and it doesn't really dent it. I mean, I'm only imagining you could do that, but yeah, no, it does, because that space, I did jackknife a little bit too much when I bumped right into the thing. Just once, didn't do any damage. I opened the box up, just tapped the inside, popped right back out, perfect. So it's pretty sturdy, and I keep the electrical stuff on one side and the water stuff on the other side, so that you need every inch that you can get, and we're well below the tongue. The truck can do 7,500 or 750 off the tongue.
Oh yeah,
and we're way below that. So that little added on to the boxes is not gonna bring
you're
it up.
still pretty peppy, yes.
Yeah.
We get about like 15 miles to the gallon. I imagine you're probably pretty close to that, aren't you?
We depends in the like coming through, I guess the hills here, the West Virginia hills. We got into around 13.6, but 14.4 is about average. 14.
That's good.
For the most part,
Yeah, 14
not
is
too bad.
fine.
I get
Yeah.
20.
He gets 20.
Wow.
That's right. But I've given him some furniture that he's going to fit in, and we'll see if I can kind of get him more like. Well, Tim is. I've got to go here. Tim, you're stirring up the ashes. He says, "Mike, ask Michael how you gain more storage minus the shower." Yeah. No, it's like whenever you've got a spot, you can find something to put it in. But are one of you more accumulators, and the other is like, well, we need to kind of cut back, or how does that work between the two of you in terms of how much stuff you have?
I'm more of the minimalist. Yeah, I don't need a lot. I don't want a lot. I told him today, if we buy one thing, we got to get rid of 2.
I heard that today.
Oh, where have we heard that from? Somewhere?
I heard that same exact.
Some
statement.
woman, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a very lovely woman.
Somebody
named
who's
Grace.
full of grace. Hey, Grace, or one of the people who are here who could put Gina's link down there. It is getting very close time. It is 6 o'clock. In fact, it is time to raid over. So I must say, as thank you very, very much. It's been great to have here, Red and TJ, and you guys are good sports. I can't wait to meet you sometime down the road. If you get to California, Northern California, drop on by. Grace, what do you want to say?
I wanted to say that Gina has babysitting details, so she will not be on tonight. So there will not be a raid for Gina this evening. However, we can still raid Whoa Nelly RV Adventures. Make sure to leave a comment. She's only 14, or they are only 14 shy of making that 1,000.
Nice.
Let's give them a big. Do we have any kind of a plus thing here? Yes. Thank you so much for signing up for her site. And once again, Red and TJ, if you haven't signed up for their channel, Loving Life Hitched Up is where to be. And let's wish them well. Thank you for the great interview. You guys are fun.
It was so great to get to know you better. We definitely look forward to when we can hook up. And
my dogs are in that room.
I was just look what's behind you. You have stolen my dog. Oh no, they're his dogs.
Me. And also a big shout out to our mods. We love you so much, and we couldn't do it without you because I can't keep up with this stuff. So we really appreciate you. And if anybody else would like to be a mod, let us know, and we will get connected.
Yeah, we learned today.
Good night.
We learned today how important.
Tracy, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat. We really love you. Thank you so much for that. And next time we see you, we're going to do something special for you. I hope you like Grace's cooking. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Super.
Okay, well, as we always end it, with happy trails. Happy trails to you until we meet again. That'll get them to go. Thanks, everybody. Peace out. Bye for now.